Welcome to the Home Stagers and Designers on Fire podcast, where we help you attract more ideal clients, up-level your business, make more money, and still have a smokin' hot life. Hosted by best-selling author, coach, and speaker Marianne Cherico, this podcast focuses on business and mindset strategies that enable you to create a life and business by design. Now, let's get fired up.
I want to tell you about a stager I worked with a couple years ago. She'd gotten certified, did the training, built a portfolio she was really proud of, and definitely had the talent. What she didn't have yet was the business acumen and the identity shift that would help her become a confident and profitable home stager. More on that in a minute. She was a few years in and she was still struggling to be profitable. She had left a solid career for creative fulfillment, but she was finding it difficult to make the same income in order to support what she really wanted to do in her life. As we worked together to build a life and business plan, there were three things that were really important to her: to spend more time with her teenage daughters and her husband, and to travel and to make enough money in order to replace her old income. The thing that she struggled with was that she was not doing the type of work she loved. She was taking on design clients for the money, but ironically, these clients were taking up a lot of her time and bandwidth, and she wasn't really being profitable because some part of her still felt that she hadn't earned the right to charge her real worth. We worked together to focus on the work that she loved to do, refurbishing apartment models, and let go of the types of jobs she really didn't love. She started focusing on winning business from her real ideal clients, which were property managers, and letting go of PETA clients who drained her. We worked on fine tuning her messaging so that her ideal clients saw her as the perfect choice, and selling her services became easy. We also worked on how to spend strategic time on needle moving activities so that she had free time to focus on her family. Within months, my client focused on doing only jobs she loved to do with clients who happily paid her. She raised her prices so that she was being profitable and carved out more family and travel time, and her income doubled. The best part was that she was making money working on the types of jobs that fueled her energy instead of draining it. And she began planning more family trips. In fact, I love seeing her photos on Instagram. Here's what I see all the time with home stagers who are armed with a certification. They have the talent to do staging and perhaps design jobs, but they don't have clarity about things like their ideal clients, the business model that makes their heart sing, where to focus time and achieve their goals, and how to be profitable. Some of this is business strategy and some is mindset. If this sounds something like where you are right now, certified, capable, a few years in, and still wondering why this feels harder than it should, I want you to hear this. It's not a talent gap. It's the gap between thinking like a home stager and leading like a business owner. And that gap closes faster than you'd think once you know exactly where to put your energy. That's exactly why I built my program that I'm working on and I'm going to be launching soon, the Confident and Profitable Home Stager. This program is being designed to address those of you who are struggling to be profitable and just need direction and support from somebody who's been there. If you're interested in being on the wait list, there will be limited seats for this program. It's a beta program. It's going to be at a price that it's never going to be at again. Join my wait list. You can go to my website, www.coachingbymarianne.com. And Marianne is Marianne, or I will also have the link in the notes to this podcast episode. Today, I am absolutely delighted to introduce you to this special lady. Nikki Watson is the owner of the Design Quad, the largest home staging and interior design firm in the nation. Based in Dallas, beyond staging and interiors, Nikki is committed to using design as a force for good. There's so many things I could say about Nikki, and you're going to learn a lot about Nikki in this episode. But some of the things that she's done is she co founded the Design Besties, a nonprofit transforming teacher lounges into welcoming sanctuaries where educators can recharge while also fostering partnerships that strengthen community and create opportunities for the next generation. For Nikki, design is more than visual, it's about impact. Her work uplifts clients, empowers communities, and proves that thoughtful design can shape a brighter future for all. In addition to running her staging business, Nikki has done HGTV, and she's going to give us some of the scoop on that. And she
Mhm.
has a curated collection of items on Zuo, and we're also going to dive into that among other
Yes.
things. This collection is created with homestagers in mind. And I am tickled pink to introduce you to the one and only Nikki Watson.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, some of my coaching clients that I told that you were going to be on my podcast, they were so excited. So your reputation precedes you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So let's start. We're going to talk about a bunch of different things. There's going to be a few different topics because you have so much to offer the community. I know that people want to know what it's like to be on HGTV. Can you tell us the show that you worked on and what it was really like?
So I did two shows on HGTV. One of them was a complete accident. The first one was Buy It or Build It, kind of like Love It or List It. So a set of twin brothers, one's a builder, one's a remodeler, and they basically are fighting for the client to see if they want to build a new home or remodel, find an old house and remodel it. And they were my clients years ago, and they called one day and said, "Hey, we're going to be on this show. We want you to be a part of it." And I'm like, "Yeah, right." I hadn't heard from them in years. And the next call I got was from Canada, and I was like, "Oh, this is real." So they were like, "Hey, the brothers want you to be on this show. They want you to do the whole season." So I ended up being kind of the extra cast member on Buy It or Build It. And the next show was Love It or List It. And that is probably, to me, I felt like that was the best show HGTV has ever done. It was two sets of flippers that moved to our area in Dallas Fort Worth. And they were given, one was from New York, the other one was from Chicago, and they were given $50,000, and they had 6 months to flip it to $1 million. And I was like, "Oh, this show is so good because it's really what happens." Like it was more reality than I think any of the other shows. And we ended up doing two episodes of that show. Kind of, they didn't tell us we were going to be on TV, so they hired us as the staging company, like regular business. And we show up, and there's cameras everywhere. And we're like, "What's going on?" They're like, "Oh yeah, this is going to be on HGTV." It's like, what? We would have been more prepared. We would have, and I would have at least put on some makeup. Like, I don't. So we were on that episode, and then we also do my in my past life, I was a flooring rep for 10 years, and clients just call me for floors anyway. Like, they never stop calling for floors. So we have a flooring division, and so our the Chicago couple hired us to do the floors in one of the flips, and we were on another episode on Flip to a Million. So two episodes on there, and then the entire season of Buy It or Build It.
So, what's a day like for you when you do these shows? Like, pick one of the shows and say, like, what is it really like? Because people, I was an actress, I am in the Screen Actors Guild and stuff. People have no idea what it's really like. It's not all glamour at all, right?
Oh my gosh. And this was during COVID time. So for the HGTV stuff, so I also did a season of Zombie House Flipping on A&E. So that completely different experiences. So HGTV has more rules, like they're more very the producers are kind of hard on you because they want perfection. Like, this is HGTV is pretty much the standard of all of these other channels. Like, if you're doing anything home, this is what people are looking at HGTV to be the one that shines above the rest, right? So
Mhm.
they're very, very strict on what you can bring. Like if you, one example, I'll say I had a tray that I put on a patio. And used the tray in another episode, and they remember. They were like, "Oh no, you can't use that tray." I'm like, "What? How do you even remember that?" But it was like that strict. The days were long for the HGTV shoots because they were doing things over and over again. A lot of the stuff is staged, as you know.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's not real. And it really just was like we're doing our job. We could stage a house and what we're doing in an hour. It was taking
Yeah.
hours a day. So this is like a big chunk of our business is being missed because we are blocking off this time with our movers and everybody else because we have to be on set. So it was, for me, it was a lot. I don't know that it would be worth it to do as a business because we do 6 vacant properties a day, 5 days a week. So,
Blown away.
which is crazy.
We're gonna
So
get into that.
we're blocking our whole day off for one job. Like that doesn't work for me. So I think
Yeah.
that it was fun and it was, I mean, I would do it again probably just for the exposure. They
Yep.
paid us, we were paid for
Mhm.
every all our jobs. So we didn't miss completely out, but it was like a big chunk of our day, productive day, trying to do filming. On the other hand, on A&E, Zombie House up in Dallas, that was the best, I would say, best production crew I've ever worked with. Like, I loved them so much. They were not picky. They got the shots they needed. They made it look amazing. It just wasn't as strict, I'd say. So I would do that over and over again. They were amazing. I loved working with them.
And they paid you as well?
They paid us
Yeah.
for each job. It didn't take all day. So if the staging part was just say 2 hours, if we were going in and setting everything up, they never was like move this, do this, oh shoot that again. Now I did shoot more on the A&E show because I was actually on the show, so you
Mhm.
would see me a little bit more on there. So I did more scenes. So in
Mhm.
my time is, I mean, I'm fine with going to shoot, just not blocking our trucks off all day because that's missing money. So I was very pleased with their like in and out. It was really good. I loved working with them.
That's so cool, and it is different than people think. I know that. I remember doing 17-hour day shoots for a one-liner in a union, contracted role, and, people just have no idea the time involved, and to your point, it's a business, and it is fun to have that street cred and, to
Yes.
be able to put that on your resume, but it's not as profitable as, you losing those 6 jobs, right? I
And
mean,
we just
uh,
did one job today, not the other 5. So that's a lot of money if you think about, what else we could have been doing with that one truck. So it does. I mean, it evens out, I think, because now you're able to put that on your website. You're able to use that for your marketing, and then I teach a lot of design trends classes for realtors. So that's one
mm,
thing that kind of got me out there was, oh, she's been on HGTV. So a lot of people would come to the show, to the classes just for that. But now I have people, it's so crazy, people that have since 2022, they will not miss this design trends class wherever it is. Like they'll travel to go see this. And I think it's crazy because I'm like, I'm not talking about anything. Like it's just me. But they love this class so much. It's hilarious.
I love that. Tell me more about that because that's a great way to get in the door with agents.
It is. It's so easy. So I tell all the stagers that I don't necessarily have a coaching program or any mentorship, but if somebody calls me and says, "Hey, what do you think I should do to get in?" The first thing I say is create a class. Create a class. You're the expert, and you're going
Mhm.
around telling them what's in, what's out, what's new, what's hot. They don't necessarily, I mean, everybody's on Instagram, everybody's on Pinterest, so they can see it themselves, but somebody telling them what's happening out there, they love it. And they're not just
Yeah.
go out and get the information themselves. If a stager goes and says, "Hey, this is what I think is new and fresh," they're going to listen. And it has been
Yeah.
biggest for us marketing wise, the biggest revenue generator or lead generator that we can ever have.
So you do this for real estate agents or the general public?
Real estate
For
agents, title
agents.
companies, lots of title companies book me, and they will book. I have this one company that will book me across the state. So I'm doing classes here in Dallas, Fort Worth, in Austin, in San Antonio. I've taught this class in LA, in Miami, in Atlanta, in Nashville, like all over the country, and it has been crazy the response. Like it is, and it's just fun. So I don't do it's my class is not. I've been to other design trends classes and they're very technical and very high level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Realtors don't want that. They don't want high
No.
level. They want relatable. They want
Yes.
fun. So I make my class super fun. We play games in it, like it, and it's just an hour, and it is the most fun thing that I've ever done. Like I love teaching this class, and I probably teach it 2 or 3 times a week. Like that's my job is marketing. Like I don't do anything, any staging. I've done that other than TV in about 5 years. So that's
Yeah,
what I.
because you have such a large company, there's no way, like you are the CEO.
Yes.
What do they pay you for the class, or do you feel as though you get enough business that it makes it worth your while?
It depends. So a lot of people, some people will pay, and they always ask me what my fee is. If it's local, I don't like to charge because I do get business every time I
Hmm.
leave.
Hmm.
We get calls. If I'm traveling, they usually will pay for my travel or pay me a fee or whatever. So I will charge if it's outside of my area. But other than that, like if they ask me and it's local, I'll say no. I'll just do it for free.
So you're teaching design trends to real estate agents. This is so interesting, Nikki, because I coach my home stagers on doing a class. It's called yeah, Get more listings, make more money, and brand yourself the go-to agent. And it's all about how, when that agent works with a home stager, it actually leads to more listings because, that's their pain point. They got to get listings in the pipeline. And I, refer to the book Ninja Selling and how it's not good enough to be a good agent anymore. So there's a lot of psychological stuff we talk about and why agents need to invest in, at the very least, an affordable home staging consultation. And by affordable, I don't mean cheap, guys. Don't,
Right.
charge what you're worth.
Right.
Um, so I think it would be a really interesting thing to do. I might even start doing this, Nikki, to go around to agents in my area because I was in the real estate for business for 27 years and talk about design trends. How do you then connect? Do you just offer what you offer as services at the end of it, just to let them know what you offer, and then they kind of
Mm-hmm.
self-select? Is that your game plan or?
He always asked, and in the beginning, I didn't really know where the kind of hook was, how
Hmm.
to approach the hook. I was just giving the class, and then I would leave, and people would say, "Oh, can I get more information about your staging?" And then I thought maybe I need to talk about that a little bit more because I'm leaving things on the table. So at the end of the class, I kind of talk a little bit about how we work. We're flat rate until the property sells, those kind of things. So I'll give a short, so it's not salesy, but I do
Yes,
talk a lot
yes.
about how our company works and how we're different. Like we do offer super key services, so we can get into the property and the agent doesn't have to drive across town and let us in. We try to make it easy. It's just
Huge.
though
That's
that is
huge.
major in our area, especially because our metroplex is, traffic can get bad. We're kind of in one of those areas where if you have to drive an hour to let somebody into the house, that's a nuisance. So
Right.
making that, just taking that pain point away from an agent is huge.
Yes. It
They
is huge.
go crazy about it.
So
They
you must be affiliated with MLS. Are you like affiliated with MLS to get this? So you pay to be a member of MLS and you get the super
Yes.
key access. That is freaking huge.
Mhm.
Anything you can do to make it easier for the agents. Like I tell my clients,
Okay.
tell the agent you'll book the stagings with the client. Like get them out of that loop.
Yeah.
Tell them they don't have to show up. When they show up, They talk too much anyways, and they take up more time than you need.
We have it in our contract that they cannot be there, and that I feel like COVID helped us so much during that because we don't want them on our back anyway. Like no stager wants an agent there. They don't want the seller there. We don't want you there. So and it's just because you haven't seen the end result, so that you're going to judge it,
Right.
you're going to prejudge, you're going to think, oh my gosh, I don't like that coffee table. Well, the coffee table is not going to keep your house from selling, but you haven't seen it together. So once it's done, you'll be like, oh my god, this is amazing. But if you're there,
Yeah.
you don't have the same feeling. So we
Yes.
tell people, do not, we have it in our contract. And when COVID came, we're like, because of safety regulations, health, and we use that, and it's still working today. Like we do not
Yeah.
want you there, and that's
No.
when we adopted that.
And they talk too much.
They
And
do
and
distraction.
we love our realtor colleagues. We love
Yes.
them.
Oh
But
yeah.
they're there to, they're being schmoozhy with their clients. We need their attention if we're
Yes.
doing a consult to focus on, why I'm asking you to do this so that we can get them to buy in and all of that. We can get better results if you're not there distracting them.
Absolutely. And it is a distraction. It will take me twice as long if somebody's there because I have to basically entertain you. I have to talk to you.
Exactly.
And this
Yeah.
is, I can't work if somebody's there.
No,
So it is, we do love our realtors. We want to be a part of their team. We want to make
totally.
there that we're listening to how they want to present the house and all of that. But if they're there, they're going to say, "Oh, I don't really like glass. I would," but that's their personal taste and not what we know to do is to make it what I call real estate vanilla for everybody
Yeah.
to like.
Right. And
Mhm.
maybe the glass, you're using glass because you want to make the space look bigger and reflective. And we're trained at this,
We
but
know.
we know what we're doing. We just know what we're doing. Um, interesting. I was thinking when you were talking about the design trends class, I did a little retreat with Debbie Daly last year. I don't know if you know Debbie. She's a lovely, incredible, incredible interior designers in the Massachusetts and New Hampshire area. And we did it on design trends, but also how it impacts the staging world, like, maybe biophilic or using some vintage, stuff like that. Any
Yes.
comments on that before we move on to the next amazing topic about your business?
Yes, absolutely. So we basically anything that is like a trending hot topic, I always include that because, of course we want to be we're the expert and we want them to know that this is what's coming out. Like these are the newest things that are coming into design in the design world, but we also in our business, we don't want to get too trendy and, do things that are, will be out of style, but we do want to make sure that we're thinking forward style wise and design wise and keep it on trends because people are just scrolling on social media and they're looking at what's appealing to them, so we have to
Yeah.
kind of take on some of that stuff just to make sure that that we're staying fresh and ahead of the time. So I do talk about like paint colors, the colors of the year that come out. I just try to make
Hmm.
sure that everybody knows like this is what's affecting our business. Everybody's doing like color drenching, and I just talk about
Hmm.
all of
Yeah.
the new and fresh things to live, and then I talk about how if you're selling, don't do this. So
Right.
this is
Right.
to live, but not necessarily to sell.
Like I might not color drench most rooms. I might go more neutral and stuff like that. Yeah, I love that you're doing that. I really truly do. I also think one thing we talked about at that retreat and that I coach my clients on is I do think it's okay to have your own unique signature style too.
Yeah, it
And I
is.
find that if it translates into certain areas, like I'm thinking of a client of mine out in California, beachy area, and she uses a lot of turquoise and burnt orange, and it reminds you of the ocean and the sun. And she's just like killing it, and she's known for her brand and like Salt and Pine out in the Newport, really,
Oh,
nice Rhode Island area.
I
It's a
love
little more neutral and benign, but it's absolutely lovely.
beautiful.
Um, I kind of think I see more home stagers developing a unique style that still speaks to the buyer demographic, which I think is really kind of a game changer.
I like that. I do. I love originality. I love that people put their own spin on things. For a little while, I think that we were all kind of doing the same thing. And about 10 years ago, I'd say that all staging pictures kind of looked similar. And I'm like, where
Yes.
did we get this style from? Where did this come from? And it just all looked, to me, there was no identity. So now
No.
people are shaking it up. I think I love all the new stagers that are coming into the business because they're doing some amazing things. And I'm like, yes, girl, do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
And
And your
it's
work is beautiful, by the way. It's very beautiful. Yeah. I did. I looked at it. It's really nice.
I love
Um, all
I
right.
love
Now, Nikki,
originality.
you what?
I said I love originality. It's good.
Yeah. No, it's really, really lovely work. All right, now let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. You do 6 to 8 homes a day, 5 days a week. Tell us how that happens and how you built that kind of an empire.
It exploded overnight pretty much. So I think when I first got into the business, like I said, I used to be a flooring rep and I knew a lot of realtors. And that was where I knew the realtors because I was a rep and I would,
Mhm.
be really involved in the association and I would volunteer and be on every committee. So I knew lots and lots of realtors. And when I made the transition, all of a sudden one day I woke up and I said, I'm a stager. All of the realtors that I knew were like, "Hey, okay, I'll support you. Let me find a listing for you." So it was kind of organic that I already had like kind of built-in business. So
Mhm.
I still worked my full-time job, and then I was doing at night staging jobs. And oh gosh, investors would kill me because they'd call, "Hey, I'm at the closing table. Can you come pick this up?" I'm at work. So it
Yeah.
was a crazy thing trying to juggle both. And then I got fired from my job. Not
Blessing. Can you say blessing?
blessing, but I didn't see it at the first because I love my job so much. I
Yeah.
probably would still be there today if they would not have let me go. I love these people so much. I love the company. I love the people. Everything. And the owner of the company said, Nikki, God told me this is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be doing your business. I'm like, what? God didn't tell me that. I don't know that this is
You
true.
sure it wasn't the devil?
Hey, but who told you that? So I was devastated because I loved the company, but I knew then I had to make it work. So I hired and this is a whole nother story, hired a administrator to do like contracts and all the back end stuff, take all the calls. And then a stager emailed me from Iowa and she said, "Hey, I'm moving to Texas. I'm getting a divorce. I got 2 kids. I'm coming to move in with my brother in Rockwall. And do you have any room for stagers?" And I was thinking, at this point, I just hired the other lady. I'm like, I don't know that I can afford you. I said, well, come, let's try it out for a month and see if it works out. If not, you're gonna have to find a job. And she said, okay. So when she came, I trained with her maybe a month, maybe 2 months at the most. And she said, "Okay, I got it." I was like, "You got what?" She said, "Oh, I got it. You don't have to come anymore." I was like, "Okay." So the staging was taken from me, the contracts and all the other stuff was taken from me. So now what I did for the flooring company, I could do for me. And that's how we grew literally overnight. I think within 6 months, we may have 10x the business that I've had because now I was able to focus on marketing for myself. I had grown the flooring company. I think they probably were a $3 million company when I got there. When I left, they were a $30 million company. So I marketed all of that I'd done for them. I could do for me, and that's where everything changed. So I was able to market. I was able to. Then we started doing from one a day to two a day to three a day, and then I had the girl that I hired, she had to leave, and I hired another lady, and she's very shy, like in front of people, but she could get on the phone and cold call like nobody's business. And she was the one that grew us from 3 to 6 immediately within a year. She was like, "Oh, can you handle
Wow.
this? Can you handle this?" I was like, I think so, maybe. And we hired more stagers. We the trucking company that partners with me, they went from 1 to 6 trucks. We grew together, so everybody was just growing. It happened so fast.
So there's so much to unpack here. What I'd
Yes.
love to focus on is what you did to market the business to have it grow so fast and what that woman that you hired did when she was making those cold calls. I'd love to hear more about that.
So what I was doing, what I was already doing for the flooring company, was getting involved in the organizations, going to the realtor events, going to investor events. So I would go to all of these roundups with investors and just get in. What can I do? Can I serve ice cream? Like whatever I can do so people would see me, and I would be
Hmm.
standing right at the front door handing out things, so they knew every time they came to that meeting they would see me. And that's
Hmm.
how I was able to get the visibility. And there was nothing that was too good. I was not too good to do anything. I would
Hmm.
pass out flyers, I would serve drinks, I would do whatever I could do because I wanted people to see, hey, this is Nikki. Oh, she has a staging company. I
Hmm.
want people to say in that meeting, even if I wasn't on stage, what I did and who I was. So that's how that was basically the grassroots marketing that I did everywhere I went. Like I was involved in every if a real estate company had a meeting, I would show up. I'm not speaking or anything, but I'm speaking to all the agents that come in. Hey, I'm Nikki. Remember me?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
making sure that I'm always there, always present. If they had a question about anything, even if they didn't use me, I wanted to be available. So I would go to as many things as I could and make sure that people remembered my face and what I did. And every time I'd go somewhere, they're like, you know what? You do staging, right? I have a house that might need you. I'm gonna call you all the time. So it basically just made our business visible to more people. We did a lot of like emailing. I used to do, and this is something that I recommend everybody do. I would go on realtor.com,
Hmm.
look at recently reduced and
Yeah.
recently reduced, and if they were vacant, I would email the agent. Hey, have you ever thought about marketing with staging?
Hmm.
And basically give them a quote right in the email. This is how much it'll cost. This is call me if you want it. And we would get so I would just have kids doing it all day. Hey, I'll give you $10 today if you do this. Literally all day long. And they would just be emailing. Summertime, they're sitting at home watching cartoons, emailing.
So they were emailing the agents for you?
Yes.
That's
Kids,
great.
nieces, nephews, kid, everybody. Everybody's involved. Let's get business. And that's
Wow.
girl. And the cold caller, she was just amazing. She would call any investor that she knew. She would ask people, and she would call insurance companies. Hey, do you have anybody that flips houses? Do you have like she just? I don't know where she was getting these contacts, but she would literally call anybody she thought that could send us business. Apartment complexes, um, small builders, contractors, anybody she could think of, and she would cold call all day long.
Oh my gosh. And it sounded like she really loved the challenge.
Oh, she did. She wanted to make sure she wanted um to conquer that sale every single time. And and like I said, she's very shy. Like if you talk to her,
Hmm.
she would probably barely talk. But when she got on the phone, she was a different person. It was like a character, almost like an actress. And
Like an alter ego kind of
yeah, and
thing.
she would
Yeah.
just walk. She would pace the floor all day and cold call all day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so impressive. Do you do any other kind of marketing? Like, are you big on Instagram or is there any other Mostly relational marketing then is what you're doing.
Relational. I'm so bad at and I don't pay for like Google ads or any of that kind of stuff. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. Anything online other than I have my Facebook page is pretty, I say, very personal. So I put a lot of my business on there, and a lot of people are like, "Why are you telling all that?" I've gotten messages and say, "Don't tell everybody your business." I don't care.
I
I
don't either.
All of my stories are real, and I get more referrals through Facebook than any other social media because I'm me. And I think that a
Yeah.
lot of people are like, "Oh, I want to be business. I want to strictly do have my business face on all the time." And my Facebook is more personal than anything, and that's where a lot of my business comes from too.
And you know what? I really, really, with all my heart, believe that people work with people that they know, like, trust. And yeah, I know even sometimes I put things on social media and my friends are like, you probably shouldn't because you have a business. And sometimes I just feel compelled because I have to, because it's about who I stand for as a woman and my values.
Yes.
We're not going to go down that route, but you all know what I'm talking about. And
Yes.
I might repel some people by that, and that's okay. Like, as a woman, I've come to terms with that. But the people that love me are going to really love me. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? It's like,
Absolutely.
and again, I do it in moderation, but I am not going to be stifled as a human because of that. Because I believe that our life and business is so intertwined,
Yes, it
and
is.
people work
Yep.
with real people that they can relate to. They buy you. Your people are buying you, Nikki. Like, you have this exuberant personality. You're so talented. They're buying you. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. I want to get into the nitty gritty of this because I know that I remember before I even really knew you, there was a little, like, people get on the social media groups and everybody's got an opinion, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's helpful and sometimes it's not. And there was a thing about people judging the fact that, you only charge so much, or you offer this special where they can have the stuff until forever. And how can you be profitable? And blah, 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 blah. I
Yes.
want you to preach it right now, how you're being profitable, so that all those naysayers
Yes.
um, can hear that there's all different ways to do business. You're not a boutique business. How are you being profitable without having your prices really high?
Yes. So a lot of this is my number one pain point in our industry because I feel like a lot of people feel like we all have to do it the same way. There's so many ways
Mhm.
to do this business. You can do occupieds only, you can do vacants, you can do anything you want. There is so much you can do. I don't charge monthly rentals. And a lot
Mhm.
of people think that's leaving money on the table. But my original customer was investors. And investors do not want to worry about billing. They don't want to have to go 30 days or 60 days or 90 days and keep paying this fee. So what I did was when I first started staging, I would buy whatever furniture I needed, made sure it was covered, and then the next time I moved it, it was profit.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
each property that is covered that I bought, I owned everything outright. I didn't never took out any loans. I didn't put it on a credit card. I owned every single piece of furniture. Now we have over 300 houses of furniture and we do six a day. But and all of that inventory is free and clear. Nobody is owed anything. We don't owe anybody. That's why we keep it there because we don't. I'm not trying to make $1 million on one job. That is not what we're doing. My company is based on volume, so we do
Yeah.
a lot of jobs, but my movers are making money, my stagers are making money, I'm still making money. I made $675,000 in 2021 profit. Me.
Wow.
That was
That's
my.
awesome.
We did $4 million in staging.
Wow. Thank you for
So,
sharing that. I
and
really appreciate
I
that.
want people to know that it. even though to them they're like, oh, you could be making double that, because I would
Mhm,
be
mhm,
charging essentially after 30 days, after 60 days, after 90 days. But that is not my goal. My goal is to make it approachable, affordable for my client. And everybody's not my client. I don't do
mhm, mhm,
over $5 million listings. I
mhm,
don't have the artwork for that. I don't feel comfortable. That's not my range. If anything under $5 million, I can handle. Anything
mhm,
over that, I refer it to another stager in our area. We refer business back and forth. But
mhm.
because I know I stay what I say call in my lane, I stay in my lane.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I know what my lane is, but I'm still making money, which is crazy to think about. Like everything that we have, and me and Jonathan talk about this all the time, is every piece. I have a new husband. I know you know the $10 store. I have a new husband, and he lets me pretty much make all the decisions. So everything that we have, our $1 million house, all from staging. He's got two Bentleys outside, all from staging. I drive a Porsche, all from staging. I am making money. I'm making money. So this is it's so crazy to hear people, oh, I don't know how she's profitable. I'm profitable because my business model works. People come to me because I don't charge monthly rental. We have the majority of the business in our market, and there's lots of business here. But we have
yeah,
most of the business because of my business model. And I don't owe anybody anything. So that's how we operate. A lot of people can't do it because they are, they owe, they've got large overhead. We do have a warehouse, it's 10,000 square feet. Um, it's we're not paying a whole lot of money for it, but I'm worried more about how my employees are getting paid, if they are growing. Like I said, our moving partner went from one truck to six trucks, but we did that together.
mhm,
Everybody
mhm.
is so he's got 12 guys now. He helps other stagers. So if a stager asks me for my moving partner, I'm telling them who it is. He probably helps five or six other stagers in our market. I'm not threatened by that. I remember
Yeah,
going to a meeting, a staging association meeting, and I walked in and somebody asked a question, and the person that was president at the time said, I'm not here to train my competition. And I was very
yeah,
offended by
yeah,
that. And
yeah,
I'm thinking,
yeah,
well, why are we here?
yeah.
What are we
Right,
even meeting for?
exactly.
What are we
I
meeting
have
for?
found that with not just with you and your attitude with that, the most successful stages have your attitude. And in fact, they refer each other out, they help each other when they need it. And it's it's an abundance kind of mindset as opposed to that scarcity kind of thing. And
Yes, yeah.
um so is your do you do mostly investors or is vacants or what is your model?
We do lots of flippers, so we do have a lot of flipper accounts, but lots of realtors, lots of regular real estate business. We do small builders. We do apartments. We do Airbnbs are probably one of the biggest thing we have done in the past. Actually, we have one Friday in Oklahoma in Broken Bow area. It's like a little cabinet. We've probably done about 25. We've done as a company over 100 Airbnbs.
Wow.
So we
Is it
we
a
do a
different
lot.
model though? I mean, do you do not I would think it's a different model,
Oh yeah.
business model. You wouldn't do it so that you're going to rent it forever, like even a model home, because it's
Yes.
different with investors because with investors, they're motivated to sell it fast because they're carrying per diem a
Yes.
lot of money. So their job is to sell it fast for the most amount of money, like truly.
Yes. Truly.
So having that model is really smart because they're already motivated to
Oh yeah.
sell it really fast. They're not a seller that's kind of thinking of, well, if I don't sell, it's no big deal,
Right.
right?
Right.
That's a
They,
really
they
smart
are
thing.
and they're taught in like all of their mentorships and all of those partnership things that they take classes, that they're taught to flip, stage it, and list it. They don't have anything like
Yeah.
they have to stage it. So if you're in that, if you're there and available when they're learning how to flip and do all this stuff, and they like, oh, well, I don't know a stager. Hi, here I am. I'm at the meeting.
Yes. So you're going to these investor meetings.
Yes. Yes.
Love it.
Making
I
sure that
love
they
it.
know we're available. This is a business. You have to have it. Why not use me? I'm here.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good. And again, investors are a different animal because you do have to be able to do something on a dime, not
Yes.
just picking up a staging, but because you're the last one coming in, a lot of
Mhm.
times the contractors hold them up, then they're panicking, and you can't always give them as long of a wait time. So, and again, it might not be everybody's cup of tea to work with investors, but their expectations are a little bit different.
They are, yeah. They want to move faster. If they know that they're done on we'll be done on Monday. Can you do it Tuesday? Well, it's Friday night. Like yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can usually accommodate. Right now, summertime is our busiest time. We may be doing 8 most of the day, most of the summer. And we have to hire more stagers in the summertime. It's just a crazy time for us. But investors will call you last minute. We can usually slide them in, but right now we're booked 2 weeks ahead, which is never happened. This is probably going to be our busiest summer. Yeah,
So exciting.
it's
So
so.
exciting though.
It's
Let me just check. What I guess well, there's a couple more things that I want to talk to you about. What role exactly do you serve in your business now? So you're the marketing, chief marketing officer.
Yes,
What
basically.
else? Yeah.
That's really all my whole role because I don't, in the everyday, day to day stuff, I don't even know what's happening. I don't know what's on the schedule. I don't know anything. I remember going a couple weeks ago, I was trying to go donate something, and a friend of mine came with me. She was like, "Where are the bar stools?" I was like, "I don't know." She said, "Do you even own this place? Do you even work here?" I was like, "This is their stuff. I don't know," because I'm literally never there. So basically my role is to go out and get new business, to be visible, to go out and talk to as many agents as I can and figure out how to get just our face in front of people. So that's where my role was with the old company, and I figured that's what I'm really good at. So I
Mhm.
can stage all day, but
Mhm.
that's really not where I'm best used. And I think that a lot of people don't see. They want to be in the business. They want to be in stage. They want to pick out every plant. They want to do everything.
Yeah.
But I think if you find what you really love, and the people that are better than you in some things,
Mhm.
I can say my lead stager is, she can stage circles around me. No doubt. She is the best stager I feel like in the country. She is amazing. Um, because I figured out this is not what I'm good at. I'm gonna just stay over here in the marketing role and do that. I really every day I really don't have any much else to do with the business. I'm just kind of
So
the
what about like systems and processes? Who's doing that?
my operations manager. Her name is Whitney. She does all of that. So she creates, if there's something new that we need to create, she'll create a manual for it. She'll create a process. If she needs to train somebody else, so she does have an assistant. There's two, the office administrator and her assistant. So there's two people that are in the office all day. And they're answering phones and sending out contracts and emails and talking to agents and scheduling. And so they do all of that.
Mhm.
Other than that, like I don't even know what's happening. When I go there, like, what are you doing here?
I love that you have these roles all dialed in, kind of E-Myth style, that they're taking care of all that stuff. So I mean, it's so awesome. Before we go, I want to talk about Zuo. Tell the listeners about Zuo, why it was created, how it benefits home stagers, and how
Yes.
they can get more information on it.
So I for a long time I've been, using some of these same manufacturers that a lot of people use. We use Coaster. I've recently started using Ashley, which I kind of like them. You just can't pick it up. So Coaster is 15 minutes away from our warehouse, so we can pick it up same day. Ashley takes 2 days to ship to us. Their price point is good on certain things, And some things are kind of grandma, so some things are not not up to date as I would like, but
Okay, it looks like we got cut off in the recording. And Nikki was going to tell you about Zuo, which is a curated collection that she's developed for home stagers. And I'm going to give you the information in the show notes. So I just I want to thank Nikki Watson so much for joining me on this podcast episode. She has so much information to offer, and I'm going to give you more information about how you can follow her and get more information about Zuo, which again is a curated collection specifically curated with home stagers in mind. Thank you, all of you who are listeners to this podcast. If you're interested in my upcoming program, The Confident and Profitable Home Stager, that waitlist information and link will be in the show notes. And again, I appreciate each and every one of you.
This episode of the Home Stagers and Designers on Fire podcast has ended. Be sure to subscribe for more strategies on how to attract your ideal clients, uplevel your business, make more money, and still have a smokin' hot life. And don't forget to review this show so that we can continue to bring you top-notch content. See you on the next episode.